Hello, welcome to our first, I was reading something that popped up. Welcome to our first episode of the Sirius series. And this episode is called Knowledge because we're going to be tapping into what Sirius has to offer and actually connecting it with Pleiadian energy that we've already have a good handle on. So I'm honestly going to just jump right in. You're welcome to grab some paper to take some notes, even relay the information compared to the Pleiadian notes from the knowledge section. But let's go right into, let's see here. There we go. The Pleiades section. So we had this triangle illustration just to signify different dimensions, right? So we had a good idea and energy of what 60 and 90 are doing with 3D, the 3, 6, 9. So it's pretty simple. And honestly, there was a purpose, there's a rhyme and reason to why we were working with a triangle. Triangles are most stable, and Pleiadian energy has to work with those triangular geometric shapes just because they are more stable for us to learn about 3D depth, 6D possibility, and ninth dimensional divine self, dealing with time, how your 9D self perceives time. So that, honestly, we reached a lot of high vibrations, especially all of January. There were so many planetary transitions. It was, wow, it was invigorating. But we utilized Pleiades energy because it has such a almost neat way of interacting with us. It has a very smooth 369 physical. I'm physically working in your space. I'm spiritually working with your ninth dimensional divine self. And the 3D depth aspect, this has to do with the fire element. So the reason why the triangle is pointing up, that is a symbol that is delegated to the fire element, which is also masculine. So raising that energy up in 3D, it's a masculine fire element. So the Pleiadians realize that when we raise our energy in 3D, we can actually, they want to help us to bring out more possibilities with the water element. And then it goes even further to a larger water element encompassing both your spiritual fire, that 3D, and then going up to the 6D possibility with water and encompassing it with a larger water aspect. Now that we kind of understand what's happening, and this I feel like is more of the individual self, which Pleiadian energy is dealing with that throat chakra. If you go to your Pleiadian star seed, or pardon me, is it the throat chakra? I may have had that misinterpreted. One moment. Divine masculine heart. Arcturus is the throat chakra. The Pleiadian for your divine masculine heart, this is having the ability to release that 3D. So I spoke about the fire being masculine. This is directly towards your divine masculine heart. And the Pleiadians are really working with that wound, that trigger. They're really working with it so they can water it down to more possibilities, to water it down even further, so you can understand who your divine self is, even when there are triggering moments. And those Pleiadian starseed traits, I'll just go over them so we can kind of get a better understanding. And I I'm really going over Pleiadian energy again, just so we have a nice recap for going into the Sirian energy. Because if we don't understand the individual self, it won't be an easy ride understanding the collective selves. And that's where Sirius works with. But Pleiades, they're working and helping with our divine masculine heart, that releasing of love and helping that wound so that we can make medicine from the wound. And those traits are healing, caretakers, especially children, nurturing empathy, mysticism or mystical creatures, spirituality, spiritual outdoor lovers, communication, and they're usually gender fluid. So that encompasses your personal self. And I feel like they are very stable. This is a very stable energy. We went from Polaris, that was dense, to Pleiades, very high vibrating at the 9D, but not dense, but remaining that stability. As we shift over to Sirius, this is working with our sacral chakra. This is working with our creative self or selves. And this is actually the planet that's really helping us adjust with 5D. So if you notice, Pleiadian energy skips over the 5th dimension. They go right into the 6th dimension, which is space. Within the depth, they make space or possibility for your divine self. Sirians, they actually help this along. So let's say you're having a really hard time getting from your 3D self to having possibilities of your divine self. Sirians create, and that's why they're really connected with our sacral chakra of having the ability to create. They create that physical part of you that is a part of the universe. I hope this is grasping some tension. Now, to better understand how they do this, I'm going to explain their actual system. There are 3 different places that Sirians reside in. There is Sirius C, which is a 9th dimensional planet. It's an etheric planet. It's not actually a geographical star. And then there is Sirius B, which is a 7D and 5D blue planet. It has etheric beings, 7th dimensional, and it has physical beings that are more water creatures, mermaids, that sort of phenomena. And it's covered in water. So that's why these two elements are important to get used to, because this is what they are accustomed to working. So if you ever feel like a human comes in and they feel almost like water, it could be crashing water, it could be stagnant water, still water, but there's that very energetic, emotional vibration from someone. That's a really good sign that they had a life or are a Sirius Star Seed. But there's 3 different places that they reside in: Sirius C, Sirius B, and Sirius A, which is more 5D, preparing to be 3D individuals on other planets. It's super interesting because all Sirian souls begin at Sirius C. They all have experienced being a 9th dimensional golden ray child or being. And they all have perfected the law of karma, the law of grace, and the law of request. The law of karma is when you go to certain places, it withholds the probability. Now, the law of grace, that's doing things gracefully, knowing about your karma. And the law of request is knowing that grace and karma cannot be taken away unless you request specific things. So let's say you have this horrible life. Oh my gosh. I have such a terrible 3D life and I hate it. I don't actually, but this is an example. And you have no grace in speaking about your life and you have a lot of karma owed. You have the option to request help with grace to pay back or undo or make your karmic impression correct again to raise you back up to 5D, 7D, 9D. These people from Sirius C, or it's also known as Lukamai, understand that, and they spread golden ray energy and love and light. They also love wearing gold. They love have gold things. They're very they're a creative masculine energy. So Pleiadians and Sirians, they do have masculine and feminine, but when you encounter someone, they're on the very masculine side of releasing energy and having outcomes happen. So then we have Sirius B. These are your etheric and physical beings. They are helping you spiritually be physical. So a lot of times we have our spiritual practice and we separate it. So you can kind of see there's a separation. We try and separate the spiritual aspect from the our physical lives. Example, I go to the temple and act this way, but at home I act that way because that's at home. That's what they're trying to assist in merging, and that's why we have the circular output. And there are no steps to this. It goes in a circular manner. And the 5D beings, they're physically part of the universe. They're trying to show you that you have the ability to exist in 9D, 7D, and 5D all at once. So this is you here. Here's your 7D self that connects to a different part of you in a new place. And that's where it's showing your divine self, your 7D self, and another part of your soul is over here. So it's showing you that we are part of a group. It's showing you the beginning of the flower of life. It's showing you the pattern of how to create this collective consciousness. And Sirius is going to show us how to bring spirituality into our physical lives. It's going to show how spirit is being you, how spirit animates who you are. You don't see the pink, the 5D, outside of any of the green. The same way you don't see blue outside of the green. But now it's giving us a really good example that the seventh dimension, sometimes you're only spiritually physical with a physical 5D body. You're missing that divine self if you're in the center. So this is the part where we meditate. This is the part that we pray in. This is the part that is sanctuary, where we almost forget about our divine self and we forget about our physical self. But it always loops back to one of our physical realities, if that makes sense. So you are part of the divine self, as you can see. Spirit is you, because the divine self animates spirit all the time. The universe is spirit. And you physically in 5D know that you're part of the universe. You're part of a bigger picture. So being part of that bigger picture, let me flip to the Sirian traits, allows us to create on top of the picture and keep manifesting what already circles and lines up with us. So this is the traits of being attracted to alchemy, because now we're working with different elements and sacred geometry. This is being creative, imaginative, because now the 5D says that could probably happen. Probably. And once that probably enters your physical body, the Pleiadian energy says, here are all of your possibilities from you just saying, I could probably do that. So just by thinking up a probability, just by physically saying, yeah, I could probably do that, a number of solid possibilities enter your field. And from that, you're able to get into the 7D space of meditating with that energy. From that, you're able to go in and out and put together the 9D and 5D. So just from saying probably, creating a solid energetic possibility, and your spirit animating with your divine self creates new ways of life, new ways of living in your timeline. And this is also very protective. Both of these, Pleiadian and Sirian star seeds, are protecting the way you move with your divine self on your timeline. Now, that wasn't too much, but we're working a lot from that divine masculine heart of releasing to creating from what we released from the Pleiadian energy. And I feel like it perfectly meshes with the last lunar cycle of winter, because we're coming up on a new moon in Aquarius, and it is all about the collective and how we fit together nicely in this flower of life, sacred, conscious, collective bowl. So now you can connect with Sirius, go over your meditations. Let's go over your meditations right now. Let's see here. So the first meditation is, where is your water source connecting you to Rabbit? And Rabbit is very important because we've been working subconsciously with Rabbit Spirit. And Rabbit Spirit is the water rabbit for the Chinese lunar astrology. It's been that since last 2023 February. So now it's going to switch over to a wood dragon spirit. So a lot of these meditations are going to be introducing you again to the energy that's been helping us, so we can transition to another energy that will be helping us for honestly a whole decade. So it's very fun to connect back to our water rabbit and feel into this Sirian energy. The Sirian energy is helping you connect that spiritual aspect to your physical world. So you have more possibilities in choosing how and when you manifest certain goals in your life. The next video, I will share about the resources aspect. I'll share more on what the meanings are for the certain water aspects of that rabbit. But for right now, just see where your water rabbit is coming out of, because your water rabbit is actually showing you this 7-dimensional space. It's showing you where you're receiving that ability to bring spirit back into your life. And then we have working with spirit, working with the water rabbit. What encourages your intelligence to the point of creativity? So it's really, again, bringing us back to right in the center, and it's working with your sacral chakra. So we are focusing a lot on creativity. And the journey, I will go over the journey in a different video. And we're working with Mars and Sun placements, so taking action February 12th, what are you creating with the universe? So when I say the universe, I'm actually talking about our God, the universe, and I'm talking about you being a part of the universe. You being a part of the universe. What are you creating with this part of yourself? What are you creating with your seventh dimensional part of yourself? And what is your divine self creating? So there's many, many layers. And to have the opportunity to meet your water rabbit and to also get a better understanding of how you've been changing emotionally for the past decade is incredibly helpful. And how can you co-create with the universe? Again, universe being your divine self, and this is actually you meeting your divine self. Your divine self has a shape, it has a figure, it has an essence. What is that essence? How are we able to strip away all parts of you to figure out your true essence that is closest to the universe? That is the 13th. I will go over journeys in a different video. February 19th, how does having your goals trigger a past wound? This has to deal with your goals and working with that Pleiadian energy, because that is your divine masculine self. How do your goals interject with that 3D depth, with that fire? How are your goals triggering that part of yourself? And then we have the water rabbit and the dragon egg. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. If you have yet to see the notification, I will send it to you personally. We will be having a spring equinox meditation, but before that happens, we're going to be actually meeting our little Sakura dragon eggs. So this is very exciting. March 20th, if you continue being one of my seasonal clients, you guys will have the opportunity to join in the meditation for free. And being a client, you have the opportunity to join in with the group or schedule a personal session with just me. Now, that being said, we're going to be working with the water rabbit and the dragon egg. So February, you have an entire month, because it'll be March 19th that we have this meditation. But you have an entire month of meeting this dragon egg, and your water rabbit is going to find it for you. And then we have the journey. Meditation, February 26th. Who can you share your blessings with? This is huge, because now we're interacting with that seventh dimensional, bringing spirit to the physical. So who can you share them to? What other 5D physical body can you share? Because that divine self, they're interacting with each other. How exciting. And then we have working with solstice spirit. What can your solstice spirit help you release before to prepare for spring? So your solstice spirit, that is working with Arcturian energy, and that is working with your throat chakra. So your winter solstice spirit guide, your Yuletide spirit guide, that's the word I was looking for. Solstice just kept pouring out of my mouth. You're going to meditate with that guide and see what needs to be released. And then we have our last journey. That wraps up the end of winter, but that is not it for the new moon aspect, it's powerful resources and finding out where your water rabbit resides. That is the first step to encountering our powerful resource, because it is going to help us get to our dragon egg. It is going to help us get to where our further possible timelines that 2024 is really harboring and bringing. We're going to be releasing disobedient energy. When you have probabilities and possibilities, there's a lot of ways to bring down the energy. So let's see here. The depth can be confusing, but the possibility and the way of raising your energy, that's more finite, is not as finite as that. So disobedient, having this almost unlimited amount of energy while we're working with Sirius, we need some type of obedience to continue mastering how we meditate and switching to our 5D persona, to our meditation, our shamanic journey, and connecting with that divine self. So how can we release whatever is bringing us towards being disobedient with our energy? And we want to master that quality before we get to tap into that empowering dragon energy that will be presented with for 2024. So write down what you want to manifest, and then we will go over what we see within our jar, clearing it the next day, and then working through some first quarter overcoming energies. I align to these affirmations. My energy is unique. I focus on tolerable energy. I move towards my intentions through social interactions, and I look forward to independent energy to restore my goals. Wonderful. And I wanted to show you this night sky. Let's see. Sirius is part of the winter triangle, but I wonder if you can see that. So this is February's night sky. And I wonder if I can spin the night sky. There's Sirius right there, and here's the winter triangle. It's so neat. That is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much. Namaste, blessed, and I'm very intrigued to hear about where your water rabbit has been assisting you and residing in our 5D physical realm. Bye, guys.